For the Romans, losing an eagle was more devastating than losing an entire battle. But why was this symbol so important that enemies risked everything to capture it? The eagles of the Roman legions weren't just war ornaments. They represented the heart and soul of the entire army. Losing one meant absolute dishonor for Rome and its soldiers. Knowing this, the empire's enemies used bold strategies, brutal ambushes, and carefully planned betrayals to capture these sacred insignias. But what many didn't expect was that the Romans would fight with superhuman ferocity to protect them. Imagine being a Roman soldier surrounded by enemies, knowing that the eagle by your side carries the fate of your legion and the pride of Rome. Your mission isn't just to survive. It's to ensure that symbol never falls into enemy hands. This wasn't just a physical fight. It was a war for the heart of the empire, a battle between honor and humiliation. But how exactly did Rome's enemies attempt to capture these eagles? What tactics did the Romans use to defend them at all costs? And what happened when an eagle was truly lost? Get ready to explore the most epic stories of sacrifice, loyalty, and boldness on the battlefields of the greatest empire in history. Today's video dives into the bloody battles and intrigues surrounding the eagles of the Roman legions. Discover how these symbols shaped Roman military culture, the strategies used to protect them, and the devastating impact their loss had on the army. If you love stories of courage, strategy, and the legacy of the greatest empire in history, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Together, we can keep the memory of Rome's greatest battles alive. The Roman eagle, or aquila, was more than just a gilded standard carried into battle. It was the soul of the legion. Each legion had one, and it was treated with almost divine reverence, symbolizing not only military strength, but also Rome's undying presence. Soldiers were sworn to protect it with their lives. Knowing its loss would not just dishonor the army, but threaten Rome's reputation as an invincible empire. This deep emotional bond made the eagle a target for Rome's enemies, who understood its psychological and strategic value. However, the eagle's significance didn't stem solely from tradition or superstition. It was a carefully crafted tool of power. Introduced by Gaius Marius, it unified thousands of men from different regions and social backgrounds into a single, cohesive force. Its golden gleam on the battlefield was a reminder of Rome's dominance, a visual rallying point for soldiers amid chaos. But its power extended beyond the Romans. For enemies, capturing the eagle wasn't merely a tactical victory. It was a statement, a challenge to Rome's authority. Imagine the tension when the eagle was at risk. In the heat of battle, surrounded by chaos and death, Roman soldiers fought with a ferocity that seemed superhuman. This wasn't just to protect their comrades or territory, it was to shield their very identity. For the enemy, seizing the eagle became a symbolic coup, a way to break the morale of the entire legion. This duality of reverence and vulnerability set the stage for some of the most daring and calculated acts of warfare in ancient history. But why did the eagle inspire such extremes? Was it the fear of disgrace? Or was there something more profound tied to its presence? To understand, we must delve deeper into the strategies of those who dared to steal Rome's pride. What lengths were enemies willing to go? And how did Rome respond to protect its sacred emblem? For Rome's enemies, stealing an eagle was a bold declaration of defiance. One of the most infamous examples was the Battle of Teutoburg Forest, where Germanic tribes led by Arminius orchestrated a devastating ambush. Using dense terrain and meticulous planning, they annihilated 3 Roman legions and seized their eagles. This humiliation sent shockwaves through the empire, leaving Rome desperate for retribution. Stories of the ambush spread like wildfire, inspiring other foes to dream of their own triumphs against the mighty empire. The tactics used to capture the eagle were often as audacious as they were ruthless. Enemies would exploit the element of surprise, isolating the eagle bearer, known as the aquilifer, from the rest of the legion. Ambushes, diversions, and feigned retreats became common strategies to target this vulnerable figure. Leaders like Hannibal and Vercingetorix understood that seizing the eagle wasn't just a blow to the legion's morale, but also a psychological victory that emboldened their own forces. But these attempts didn't come without risks. The eagle was heavily guarded, often by elite soldiers sworn to die, before letting it fall into enemy hands. These warriors formed a human shield around the standard during battles, making it nearly impossible to snatch without significant losses. Still, the allure of capturing the eagle drove some commanders to near-suicidal extremes, highlighting how deeply it was embedded in the psyche of both Rome and its adversaries. These bold strategies underscore the high stakes surrounding the eagle. Yet, as daring as these attempts were, they raised an even greater question. How did Rome counter these threats? The legions were not only relentless in battle, but also innovative in protecting their most treasured symbol. What extraordinary measures did they take to ensure the eagle's survival amidst relentless attacks? The Romans were masters of adaptation, and their methods of protecting the eagle reflected this ingenuity. Each aquilifer, the soldier entrusted with the eagle, was chosen not just for strength, but for unwavering loyalty and courage. Their role went beyond carrying a symbol. They bore the weight of Rome's honor on their shoulders. To ensure their protection, elite guards often surrounded the aquilifer during combat, forming a living barrier that could withstand the fiercest assaults. In some battles, the eagle was deliberately placed at the heart of the formation, where the strongest and most experienced soldiers could shield it. This position was both strategic and symbolic, reinforcing the idea that the eagle was the heart of the legion. If the tide of battle turned against them, soldiers were trained to rally around the eagle as a last stand, turning its defense into a rallying cry. These measures elevated the eagle from a mere standard to a beacon of hope and resilience. Rome also employed psychological tactics to protect its prized symbol. By elevating the eagle's status to near-sacred levels, commanders instilled a fear of dishonor that motivated soldiers to fight with unmatched ferocity. Losing an eagle wasn't just a tactical defeat, it was a stain on the entire legion's legacy. This fear ensured that even in the most desperate circumstances, Roman soldiers would rather sacrifice themselves than allow the eagle to be captured. However, despite all precautions, the unexpected could still happen. When an eagle fell into enemy hands, the devastation was profound, both emotionally and politically. The loss triggered immediate efforts for recovery, often leading to entire campaigns dedicated to retrieving the symbol. These missions, while driven by honor, were fraught with peril and desperation. Yet, the question remains, what happened when the eagle was beyond recovery? How did Rome reconcile the loss of such a deeply revered emblem? To uncover this, we must examine the ripple effects of these losses and the extraordinary lengths Rome would go to restore its tarnished honor. The loss of an eagle was considered one of the gravest humiliations a Roman legion could endure. It sent a message of vulnerability to enemies and caused unrest within the empire. To combat this, Rome would often embark on relentless campaigns to recover the lost eagle, transforming the quest into a matter of national pride. One such example was the mission led by Germanicus after the Teutoburg forest disaster. Years after the ambush, Germanicus waged a series of battles to retrieve the eagles, eventually restoring 2 of the 3 lost standards to Rome. Recovering an eagle wasn't merely symbolic, it was a political statement. The successful return of a captured eagle served as a powerful reminder of Rome's resilience and determination. Triumphs like these were celebrated with grand ceremonies, solidifying the eagle's status as a symbol of hope and redemption. These moments were as much about healing the empire's wounded pride as they were about reinforcing the loyalty of its people and soldiers. But what happened when recovery wasn't possible? In rare cases, the lost eagle would be replaced, but the shadow of failure lingered over the legion for years. Commanders faced immense pressure to restore their unit's reputation, often resorting to acts of extraordinary valor to prove their worthiness. This relentless pursuit of honor demonstrated the profound psychological weight the eagle carried, not just for the soldiers but for Rome as a whole. The eagle, both in its presence and absence, shaped the culture of the Roman military. It was a source of strength, a rallying point, and a stark reminder of the stakes of war. Its legacy endured far beyond the battlefield, influencing the empire's identity and its approach to warfare for centuries. But could such an enduring symbol of power and unity also be Rome's greatest vulnerability? What does this obsession with the eagle reveal about the fragility of even the mightiest empires? If you're captivated by the story of how the Romans fiercely protected their eagles, you'll want to explore the mystery of the legions that disappeared without a trace. What happened to legendary units like the 9 Hispana and XXI Dioteriana? In this video, we uncover the secrets behind their disappearance and the fates of their commanders. Could it have been betrayal, or were they lost in the chaos of war? Click now to dive into the enigmatic tales of these vanished legions and discover how a single decision could change the course of history.